All right, welcome coaches to the WSYBL 2024 season. A special shout out to all you guys that are new with us this year. Very excited to get going. It is Thursday, February 1st. And for those of you that don't know, my name is KJ Bigler, and I've had the pleasure of being the commissioner of this league for about 5.5 years now. And it's been an absolute pleasure. Looking forward, like I said, to getting started. And so what I want to do just over the next 10 minutes or so is give you somewhat of an intro, give you some things, kind of next steps, some interesting facts, some things that I think you would be of interest or you need to know as we get into the next handful of months before we start our seasons. So without further ado, let's get into that right away. We are growing, guys. We are growing. We have added about 30 teams this year, and we are unofficially at 278 teams right now. I say unofficially because we also have a high school league that we started last year that we're still taking, still have some spots available, or still accepting some people or some folks if you'd still like to get involved. I'll be sending an email about that to all the clubs as well. We've got about 5 teams at the U15 level, and we've got 5 teams at the U16, 17 level at this point. But again, can add a few more. So if you are interested, make sure you shoot me an email or let me know over the next month or so. And we can also include your communities into something like that would play in June and July. But at that many teams this year, guys, I'm thrilled to see that we're continuing to grow as much as we are, and thrilled to have you guys on board with us this year. To me, guys, one of the strengths of this league, and it's been 26 years now that this has been going on, is the board that we have and the guys that we have representative of the board. We have 12 guys, including myself, that have been doing this for a number of years, and certainly we've had some guys come and go, but I think that the fact that we have a dozen of us kind of overseeing this thing, and it's certainly not just me, we have a lot of good people, a lot of experienced people that are helping us with all aspects of this thing all along the way. And obviously we have a coordinator at each age level that kind of stands on the front lines and then disseminates things and takes care of things, and we obviously speak as a board on the higher level things. But it's a pleasure working with these guys, and I just want to announce them very quickly. Obviously they're all listed on the website. James Foster is our U7 coordinator this year, and that is something else that's new this year, guys. We've started a U7 division. We've been talking about that for several years, and we finally pulled the trigger on that this year. We do have 12 teams that are going to be involved with us this year at the U7 level, and James is obviously a first-year coordinator, with that being a first year we've started that division. So he will be heading that up this year. His father, Michael Foster, is at the U8 division, and this is his 7th year that he's been with us. Nathan Westby is at the U9 level, and he's been with us for 6 years. Lance Lozenegger is at the U10 level, I should say, and it's his 5th year that he's been with us. Troy Shar is the U11 coordinator, and he's 4 years on the board with us now. Bobby Orick at U12 has been with us for 7 years. Jeff DeMichael is in his 4th year as the U13 coordinator, and Nate Lucas is in his 2nd year as the U14 coordinator. So as you can see, guys, most of the guys that are involved at this point, minimum of a couple years, but a lot of them 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So it's been a pleasure, and they do a great job of helping make this thing work, and I know you're going to enjoy working with them, especially you guys that are new. The other 2 guys that are heavily involved and have some pretty important jobs would be Jeff Standish, who runs the Arbiter, as you guys are aware, the software system that really drives the umpires and takes care of making sure we get them assigned for the summer. He also runs the website, which is, again, another big undertaking, takes all the scores from you guys, makes sure the standings are updated, and make sure that everything's running smoothly and everything's accounted for on that website. So he's got a big task. And then Everett Bud Beebe is our UIC, our umpire-in-chief. He's been with us for about 5 years now. Bud, again, has a very integral role in helping out Jeff with the Arbiter, but also kind of working with the umpires on a lot closer level. takes care of all the evaluations, any ejections, and talks to you guys about those things as they pop up or come up. So very much appreciate his efforts, and he is also a longtime umpire and a very, very good one. So it is a pleasure working with those guys. The last guy I do need to mention, I almost forgot, is Adam Berg. Adam came aboard 2 years ago kind of as a coordinator liaison, if you will. He kind of helps out all these guys, mainly in the area of forming the divisions, which again is probably the tallest order or tallest task that we have, is to make sure that those divisions that you guys are in at each age level are as tight as possible, if you will, that we have you guys playing at the right level at each different age, with each different age group. And I know that's really a passion of mine, guys, to try and do as good a job as we possibly can to make sure that you guys are getting challenged, that you're obviously competing and hopefully winning, but at the same time, we're not either killing the teams we're playing or getting killed when you guys are out there traveling and playing these games, that they are productive. And I think you guys would definitely agree with that. So I think Adam has really done a great job of helping everybody out. And I think as a league, I'm pretty happy with the way things have turned out most years, if not all, but the last couple years in particular with Adam's help. So again, wish you guys all the best of luck as you get going out there now that you've been scheduling. And the other thing I need to mention very quickly is that you guys do make sure that you get in those home schedules. And I know some of you are still waiting on a game or two, that you just haven't been able to get a hold of that coach, or that coach is being held hostage because he can't get a field assignment that he needs in order to make sure that that game gets scheduled. So I do understand the frustrations with some of that, but please do be communicating, as I said in my email a few days ago, and please do the best you can to get those done and get those in, because those umpire assignments and getting to those guys as soon as possible is obviously very, very important. So please do take that seriously. Okay, so now that we got that wrapped up, guys, I think I just want to spend a few minutes giving you guys some general information, some announcements, if you will, before wrapping things up. Before I get started on that, I do have some sad news to report. Jeff Standish's father, Daryl, passed away a little over a week ago. And for those of you that don't know Daryl, he was a long time staple of this league. He was one of the patriarchs, one of the guys that came on board a year or two after my dad started this thing back in the late 90s, and very good friends with our family, with my dad certainly, and did an unbelievable job of so many things before he got Lou Gehrig's, and has been battling that for I think over 4 years now. And I know he's now at peace. So that was some tough news last week, but wanted to pass that along and make sure everybody knew, how important he was to me, to the league, and to so many others. Life goes on. We'll celebrate that in a couple of weeks with Jeff and his family, even though that's tough, sad news, I know. All right. As we get into some things I think you need to know, or some things that are going on that are of importance as you guys continue to get into February here and get ready for the summer, we need to make sure that we understand the umpire shortages that are going on out there. It will be, as I said, very important you get those home schedules in, but as we get closer to the season, keep an eye on arbiter. Jeff will be doing the best he can to keep an eye on that as we get into April and May. Those are going to be the tougher months for us to make sure that everything gets covered. One thing that we did do, I think you guys are aware of, is start some umpire clinics to help us train some new guys, to help us try and fill some spots and try and help us out, and give them some great training and help make them better umpires at the same time. So I think Bud has done an unbelievable job the last 3 years now. This is our 3rd year in. We got a couple of sessions left with these 3rd year guys that we've been training, but after we get to mid-March, we'll have trained over 150 guys in the last 3 years. So I want to thank all of you that have helped us promote those, and I want to make sure that you guys understand that if we do have some younger guys out there or some new trainees, that you definitely give them a little bit extra latitude I think from what I've seen as I watch these go on, I think a lot of these guys are going to surprise you. I think they're pretty good umpires even at a young age, and they're getting some great training. But we're certainly going to continue to do the best we can on that front. I would add, if you guys have any referrals, if you guys have anyone that we should be talking to, that we should be making sure get into the system or get assigned out there, make sure you continue to keep in touch with us. And I would say as we get into next year, please keep us in mind about those umpire trainings, because I think driving new guys and driving people into the system and driving more umpires, I think we all understand the shortages that are out there. Couple of rule changes real quick I need to make you aware of. Obviously with 7 being new, that's all new, but at U8 we are going to go with a one-time through the batting order situation. A lot of you know I run a fall league, and that's what we do at all levels, and it just makes sure that the game keeps moving and that everybody gets a chance to hit. Obviously fall is much looser and much different than the summer situation, but at U7 and U8 we're going to be doing that this year. Jeff does a great job at keeping the website updated, and in particular that rules link, that rules section. I think it's about 9 pages long. It's extremely comprehensive, guys. He's got it laid out really, really well. Everything is there for you. So I really want to encourage you guys, if you ever have a rules question, make sure that you check the website and check that tab, because everything that you should need is there. Obviously, if you do have a question or you just can't find something, or it is a goofy one-off situation, contact your coordinator or contact me or Bud. But please do keep an eye on that or check that if you have questions. I would even go as far as to say check that before the season even starts, or have a copy with you as you take the field this summer, guys, just in case you have a question or an issue with an umpire out there, to make sure that we're on the same page when it comes to what the rules are. But I think they are all laid out there pretty well. Sportsmanship, guys, I always have to mention that. I think last year we did okay, but we can always do better. I think we had a number of ejections again last year, and I understand, guys. I can be totally honest with you when I say there's not too many people I know that are any more competitive than I am. I coached 8 years at the high school level, 6 years at the college level. Have coached in the WSYBL a number of years with my own kids, and did it before they came along, and have been around and playing and involved in this game ever since I could walk. And nobody wants to win any more than I do, guys. But at the same time, I just need to continue to ask you to remember, when you get out there in the heat of battle, make sure you're being watched, and make sure you know that these young kids really do look up to you guys, that you guys are mentors, and you guys do have a really strong effect on these kids, whether you think so or like it or not. We've had story after story after story, and I think you guys know it's true, that these kids really do look up to us as coaches a lot more than we realize, and a lot more than we think. So please keep that in mind as you hit the field this year. Like I said, I totally understand when things go sideways, it can be very easy to lose your cool, or to get a little bit out of hand or out of line. But again, continue to keep that in mind as you head out there. It really is about the kids, guys. So again, please take that to heart as you get going. Next steps, I think from here, guys, you're going to be hearing from your coordinators. I think a lot of you have, from what I've heard or understand. I think at least half the guys have already had their Zoom calls with you. Nate just mentioned he was going to have his in a couple of days. I think Mike with the U8s has his next week. You should be, again, already in the hopper, or will be hearing and getting that scheduled with your coordinator in the next week or two, where they will cover some basic things that are a little bit more specific to each grade level, depending on which one they're representing. I'm kind of giving you an airplane view here, or giving you some things to think about that way, but they will be getting a little more specific, and obviously you'll have a chance to answer questions with them specifically. And again, those will be the guys you'll be checking in with if things need to be addressed initially, for sure. If there's roster issues, if things come up that are kind of out of the ordinary, or you just don't know exactly how to handle things or what to do, that'll be the guy to get a hold of. And of course, I stay in close touch with them, and I'm always available, guys, if you